whole show.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvietos Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvietos Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RDX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt and Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt and Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt and Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla. Not 24,000, 20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Yeah, baby. It is on. It is a Tuesday. I hope you all are feeling well. We're feeling good. Getting ready for another week. We'll be at the Rivers Pub, or River Pub, that is, on Saturday for a Dolphin event. And then Sunday, we'll be broadcasting our pre- and post-game show there at the River Pub. So we'll have some fun. Looking forward to it. Sean Stanley will be out there with me. We'll take some shirts. We'll give away some shirts over there at the event. So those of you that come out to the River Pub, you will have a chance to win some stuff. So that is cool. What else do we have going on? Ira Winderman will join us today at 10:30. So we'll talk about the Heat. I mean, they beat the Pistons last night. Whatever. I mean, this is not a good team, by the way, so far. From what I'm seeing, it is what it is. But we'll talk to Ira, and then we'll talk about, obviously, the statue, which, whatever. Great job by the Heat in honoring Wade, by the way. I mean, they all meant well, and they did a great job, but the sculpture does suck. I mean, however you want to slice it, you want to dance around it, whatever. It is a terrible sculpture. It does not look like Wade. It looks like many other things, okay? It looks more like the trainer from Rocky. It looks more like Morpheus. It looks more like Michael Graham from Georgetown. That's what it reminded me of right away. But I know that most people aren't going to know who the hell Michael Graham is, so that's why it's different. Everybody knows the other guys are a little bit more, the Rocky trainer. I forgot that's the best one, by the way. the Rocky trainer when he's screaming, get him out of the ring or whatever it is, or stop taking the hits or whatever. I think that scream is when he's taking the body blows. I think like get out of there or whatever. But that's the best one out of all of them. That's the best one. And it's a terrible statue. It just is, dude. I'm sorry. It's the only way to say it. And since we're the only ones usually that have the balls to just go out and say things the way it is in anything, pretty much. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible job of sculpture. I gotta say, it's weak. Wade deserves better. By the way, that statue's too small for Wade anyways. I would have made a much bigger statue because the impact that Wade has made, did make, will make, continues to make, whatever it is, because he goes back, he's still loved more than anybody else, because without him, there aren't 3 titles. And without him, you don't even have the last few years of these runs with Jimmy. You don't have it without Wade, because Wade's the one that convinced Jimmy to come here. So, I mean, Wade's impact is absolutely crazy, dude, in every way possible, as a player, as an ambassador, as a recruiter. I mean, I would have made a 25-foot statue for Wade. That's what I would have done. That's what he deserves. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that way would have been better because the face would have been way up there and nobody would have noticed. But that one, that was bad. So we'll talk to Ira about that terrible statue, and I'm sure he'll try to walk it off a little bit since he's got to be there in the building every day. So we'll talk to him about that and the Heat. For me, it's just more about the young guys developing and seeing what you got and then what you can build on towards the future. This team doesn't, like when I watch the Panthers, that's a team loaded with stars. When I watch the Heat, it's a bunch of role players and a great coach trying to get the max out of a bunch of role players. That's pretty much what I'm seeing. By the way, we will have a Crypto Bro show right after, again, like we did yesterday. So stay tuned. It'll be a little bit after. I would say about 45 minutes, an hour after the show. We'll have the Crypto Bro show for you kick-started. So if you are looking for the crypto talk, we will have it there, which life is good. We're over 71,000. It's funny because I got a call from, not that I'm going to get on much crypto talk here, but just got a call from a friend of mine who's been an anti everything. And he watches the show, he listens, but he does not believe, right? But then he started to look into everything going on with our money, because that's what I keep telling. Every time I tell somebody about Bitcoin, and I'm trying to explain to them, I tell them, first go learn what they're doing to our money. Okay? Look what's going on with our money. And then look at Bitcoin. And then you start to compare the two. And then you'll see. And then look at, and as I've explained to all of you, look who's buying. Look who's accumulating. The people that are way smarter and richer and much more established than you and I ever will be. Okay? These are people that we can't even dream about the money that they have. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I can dream at night about, having plenty of cash and taking care of the wife with a big old house and, all that kind of, can't do any of that. But those are the kind of people that are buying. You know what I'm saying? And so he calls me and he goes, dude, you were right. He goes, I hate to admit it, but you were right. I prove him wrong a lot, so he kind of gets frustrated with that. But so he goes, you're right, man. You were right, and I should have been buying. And I know what you're going to tell me. I'm not too late. Because I watched the show yesterday, and I go, yeah, you're not too late. even at this price, you're not even close to being late. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, and eventually the sad part is that most people will end up believing, and it'll be really late, and then they're going to be hurting because Bitcoin's going to be at well over 100,000, and the slivers you're buying are even smaller and all that kind of stuff. But it was just funny to get that call yesterday. And I think it was more about everything he saw just everything. It just keeps climbing now. It's just because you now are sensing it now, like not us hardcore people. We forecasted this. We saw this coming ahead of time. Like I see the Kyle Cockrells of the world right there. The guys like him and me, we saw all of this coming before. So we were, dead set on staying on the course because we know eventually what's coming. It's like Paul Tudor said, who manages billions of dollars, all roads lead to inflation. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, all roads lead to inflation. And that empowers Bitcoin, which, by the way, it's sitting around 71,400. So loving life. Question is, do we get to 72, 73,000? Do we go back down? How about that, Sean? Put out that poll question right now. Where does Bitcoin go today? 72, 73K, or down to 69? Okay. Let's see what we get from the crowd out there for the hell of it, just to have a little Bitcoin question. What am I going to ask you? Are the Dolphins going to win on Sunday? I mean, Jesus Christ. That's I'm not looking forward to Sunday. The game itself, it's going to be painful. You know what I'm saying? I really have no hope anymore for this team. Unfortunately, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. Let's see the roll call here. Steve Chapman says, welcome to the Fellowship of Miserable, courtesy of our Dolphins. No fins up for me this morning. They don't deserve it. There is no fins up, bro. Season's over. Season's over, dude. Dolphins have ruined everything they had. An opportunity of a lifetime. They have enough talent to win, and they just don't have the leader, So, see, Ronnie Katz there at Boca Jaw Surgery, that's a real leader. That's an ass kicker, and he's suffering too. He's a Dolphin season ticket holder and everything. That dude travels to some of the games also. He's hurting big time, Brad. He's hurting big time. But and if you need some serious facial surgery there for your mouth, Ronnie is just absolutely amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing. So make sure you call him. But now that you put up the board, I see Ronnie. And Ronnie reaches out to me in every game, and he's in pain and all that. It's just, I smile and I'm kind of laughing because we're all the same, dude. You could be a surgeon like him. You could be a broadcaster like me. Could be a teacher like you, or whatever it is that you do out there. Construction worker, county clerk, whatever. We're all Dolphins, and we're all in the same freaking misery, dude. It's just crazy. Anyway, Robert T in the house, One-Eyed Jack. That's right. Please smash the hell out of the like button. Jay Gelfin reminds us also. He says, who was that team wearing Miami Heat uniforms last night? It's not a good team, Jay. It's a bad basketball team, and they're trying to play a style that really doesn't suit them. It doesn't suit Jimmy's game, and it doesn't suit them. You know what I'm saying? But they're playing what the league requires nowadays. What are you going to do? But it's not going to be a good season right now. It just doesn't look like it's going to be a good season. Like I said, I'm more excited this season about the development of the young players. so you can find out foundationally what you can build on towards the future. So when you can get out of that Jimmy contract in 2 years, best case scenario this year, then you start getting cap space back and some flexibility, and then maybe you can move forward and try to find a star down the line. So we'll see. But for now, it's more about development for me than anything else. I don't have really expectations for the Heat this season. I'm kind of like a wait and see what can Spo get out of these guys type of thing. Ray Sosa, Alejandro Molinar. Defense can't be on the field. Dude, whatever. I mean, it's at this point, Alejandro, if you're nitpicking and worrying about one thing or the other for the Dolphins, it doesn't matter anymore, dude. It's a bad football team, period, because it's led by a bad coach. So how do you get anywhere with a bad coach? Okay. How about not screwing up the snap and a safety? How about linebackers covering somebody for once? You know, Josh Allen is going to kill them this week. That's what's going to happen. Kyle Cockrell, Alexis Palenzuela, Oscar Rojas hitting that smash button in Melbourne. Jamie Zoria in San Jose, reminding you to hit that smash button. Let's see. Trinia Mills, Miami Dolphins, Deion Sanders. Yeah, no, he's not an NFL coach. He wants nothing to do with the NFL. Plus, he's not done in Colorado. So don't waste your time talking Deion Sanders, NFL, because he's not going to the NFL. And don't even waste your time talking about Deion Sanders leaving Colorado, because he's nowhere near leaving Colorado. So he's not even close to finish there. He can't really leave there without really winning significantly anyways, because you're really not done then. Looks like the Dodgers, yeah, they're up 3-0, you know. Boo-hoo, I'm so sad the Yankees are losing. NorCal is in the house from 37,000 feet over New Mexico, heading back to Cali to Puff Puff Give. There you go. There you go. Enjoy, NorCal. Spark it up. Lucas is in the house. Lenny Pena, Richard Carrasco. He's back from Portland, Maine. For my 7th anniversary, I've had enough of the drop balls from Waddle. It's who he is. You know, that is something that now we have learned from Jalen Waddle. I had I'm not gonna trash the guy because I like him, so I'm not gonna mention his name. There's an NFL receiver that used to follow me. And 2 years ago, wasn't last season, it was the season before. I was talking about Waddle's drops and how he's a fantastic receiver, but he has one problem, and it was in this game where he had a couple drops. I think it was a Cincinnati game that he lost all by himself. And I ripped him for that. And I said, you know, you got to stop dropping balls. And I saw, and I noticed that he unfollowed me. And so I reached out to him. I said, so I guess you didn't like my criticism of the receiver. He goes, yeah, it's not fair criticism. So I then checked back with him about a year later. Yeah, towards the end of last year. And Waddle kept dropping balls. And I said, hey, how's that Waddle assessment going? And he didn't answer. And I said, silence is pretty much a perfect answer for me, man. I appreciate it. And then he responded. And he goes, yeah, you're being a smart ass now. But you're right. And I go, okay. I go, all right, no problem. I go, you got all emotional about it. and you unfollowed me because I gave a fair criticism. Didn't follow me back. You know what I'm saying? We're still talking, but you know, it's one of those things. But it's funny that's how this business is. And even if you're criticizing and it's exactly what's going on, you're wrong for it. So the problem with Waddle is what you've watched. This is who he is. Waddle is not elite. You can never be labeled elite when you drop the amount of passes he drops. He has elite talent. He's a very good receiver, but he's not elite. Sorry. I can't put you in the elite when you constantly have brain farts. And by the way, brain farts is what it is. You can tell. Just watch him. He's a fantastic young man. He's a really nice young man. He has a concentration problem. It's pretty simple. He has a concentration problem because it's gone on every year. And he's consistently dropping footballs. And he consistently drops key footballs in key moments. So, you know, it's one of those where, like, when does it end, bro? When do you get on a streak that you don't drop footballs for 2 months, 3 months? Does it ever happen? It's never happened in his career. He probably drops a football almost in every game. And it'll be in a key moment, too. It'll be a touchdown. It'll be a third down. It'll be a drive-killing play. He does it all the time. So it's just, I don't know, but something about him doesn't say clutch enough. And that's a problem. And that's why I was laughing at you, prisoners of the moment, with your silliness when you try to put Tyreek and Waddle in the same conversation with Clayton and Duper just because they had a decent season with the two of them. That's it. These guys had a career together and were dominant every week, every year. And you idiots see these two guys run around for one season, and you're already putting them with the best pair of receivers in the history of the Dolphins. It's like you're just dying to find the next Kobe and the next LeBron and the next whatever, and we force the issue. We do this all the time. We want to find the next whatever, the next Marino, the next Shula, the next Clayton and Duper. Maybe you'll never find a next. Maybe those of you that saw Marino, you'll never see anybody like that after Marino ever again. They might have good quarterbacks. They might have a Tua Tagovailoa. They might have some other ones, but they still won't be Marino. And you might have some pretty damn good pair of wide receivers out there. It doesn't mean they're going to be Clayton and Duper. And, you know, the statue of the dude outside the Miami arena, I mean, the AAA right now, you're kind of noticing that hell of a drop-off after he left, right? No other player, not Jimmy Butler, nobody else comes even close to Wade. Sometimes that's the pinnacle. And you just don't see it after that ever again. And it might end up being generations later by the time you get another one. You might be dead and gone. In fact, you probably will be dead and gone. Because I'm sure I won't see another Marino again. But we rush ourselves to replace the great. Wow. Like right away. And it just takes more than a short appearance, a short stay there, you know? Yeah, but we are dying to put him right there. Tyreek and Waddle haven't done shit, and we want to put him in the same sentence with Clayton and Duper. Dude, that's like, I get you young people because you don't know shit. So you throw out there Tyreek and Waddle, oh, no, yeah, they're like Clayton and Duper. Bro, shut up. But when I see an older person try to do it, it's like, come on, man, have some perspective. You know what I'm saying? And the good thing about all this now is that maybe a lot of you have learned your lesson and you're not going to do this anymore. Let's stop reaching for the next this, the next that. Why don't they earn it first? Instead of just one season that they played well. Oh, yeah, they're in Clayton and Duper's class. Get the hell out of here with that shit. Okay? Waddle is nothing like Clayton and Duper. Sorry. He's good. He's not great. Those two are great. He's not great. Waddle's not a great receiver. So, you know, somebody maybe needs to tell him that. Hey, you ever plan on being a great receiver? And maybe he looks at you like side-eyed. Yeah, dude, you're not great. You drop too many damn balls to be great. Tyreek, talk. Hey, bro, why don't you just shut up and try to, you know, hang on to the football? How about not committing stupid penalties all the time? How about not committing a whole bunch of idiotic infractions off the field? How about being a pro and, you know, and being clutch and consistent with your hands? Something you're not. Enough talking from fans and enough talking about these receivers. Okay? Two receivers that just put up stats haven't accomplished jack shit. Jack shit. So when they accomplish something here, then we'll talk about it. But let's not hurry up and try to compare them to people that actually accomplish something. And by the way, we're way better than them and consistent. That's the other thing. So Waddle is what he is. A very talented, inconsistent with his hands wide receiver. Good, not great. This Panthers team might be even better than last season's team. This is insane. Yeah, they came in focused. They're winning. They're in Finland now. Jesus. You gave them a bitch of a start. They're leading the conference in points. They're 7-3-1. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, Olechek. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but you are correct. Gus 1388. AJ Coates is saying he just puts one word: Bitcoin. And where are we at? 71,429. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see what else. Jimmy not going to the statue celebration is a bit concerning, but hey, maybe he doesn't want to be here anymore. If he doesn't, goodbye. We'll move on. Nah, I don't think so. I just think Jimmy's not about that whole hype stuff and all that. So I'm sure he visited the statue on his own, quietly, without anybody seeing it or whatever. You know, it's not a big deal. I would worry more about on the court stuff than any of the other crap on the periphery. Him and D Wade are cool, dude. So I'm not really worried about that. That's not. I would be more concerned with the end result of that statue, which is absolutely horrible. And we'll talk to Ira about that. Ray Sosa in. Yeah, I know the sculpture was approved also by Wade, which makes it even more disturbing. Okay. That's all I'm saying. It just makes it even more disturbing that Wade approved that. Anyway, Aquavision, Lenny Pena. Yeah, they did kick ass last night. Lil, thank you. Joseph, I just bought. MSTR. Yes, sir. Anything Bitcoin related, MSTR is the best moving stock in the business. MicroStrategy, because of Bitcoin, it has outpaced everything out there. Just like Bitcoin as an asset has outpaced everything, MicroStrategy as a company has outpaced everyone because of the same thing. So you did the right thing. Probably should have bought earlier, but you can't lose because they're just going to continue to grow. So you are smart, sir. Let's see. Trading players after Buffalo. No, they're not going to do that. They're tied to all these salaries. It would then accelerate cap money. Not going to happen, bro. Not going to happen. Like I told you, I think they're kind of stuck in the situation they're in, and I just wouldn't be even surprised that there isn't much changes at all next offseason. They say, oh, well, we're going to try to tweak it and fix it and all that. They extended everybody, bro. It's really hard to make changes, and it's really hard to trade some of these guys. So I don't think that that's going to happen. That's a guess. We'll see. What else do we have? Jimmy doesn't want to be here. It looks like he and the Heat are had a falling out. Well, I mean, it's going to end up happening anyway, eventually. Your picture is very, very blurry. Yeah, I see some of it blurry on my iPad. I am sorry, but at least you can still hear it. Look, the blurriness is actually a good thing because I am ugly, so it kind of helps. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little basketball and bad sculptures with the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
There he is. I saw your pictures when you took of the statue. The one from the back of the head.
Yes. Spot on.
That's the part that in that statue, that's the part they nailed with Wade. I gotta
spot on. Turn the statue around, you got a thing of beauty there, Big O.
That's it. I'm just saying I thought it was that's where they sculpted perfect right there. You know, that is the amazing part. And by the way, I love how the Heat got the information to you guys quickly. Like, hey, Wade approved this statue, by the way, guys. Okay, don't blame us.
No. I mean, you know what? That was clear from the get-go. Want to background people on a couple of things, though. When Dwayne Wade saw the statue and the visage in his face, it was when it was in the clay form. Clay is a more elastic, subject matter. Bronze is hard. It's hard to bronze something. And I pointed this out in the Ask Ira column I wrote today. When we think of the most iconic sports statue that we know of, it's Michael Jordan in front of the United Center. Think of that statue for a second. I don't know if Sean can pull up a picture of it. It's all arms and legs. It's Michael jumping in the air. You notice his arms. You notice his legs, his takeoff point. No one looks at the face in that statue. Michael's face is a very, very small part of that statue. It's when you do a shot straight on and the focus is on the face that it draws everything there. That's what happened with Dwayne's statue. A matter of fact, if you look at Dirk Nowitzki's statue, the second most recent NBA statue, it's him shooting his fadeaway where actually his arm is blocking part of his face. That was done by the same company also. So it's just a matter of when you're straight on and you got the face, you might run into, as you know, that sort of Cristiano Ronaldo moment where it's like, what the hell is that? It's hard to do a face in bronze. It was hard to do Dwayne's face. They got the back of the head perfect. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with having fun with it. There's nothing wrong with my son right away saying Dwayne couldn't make the sessions, so they brought in Antoine Walker instead. Again, when you look at that's the Jordan statue up close.
But when you look for it coming back, it's all arms and legs. It's just completely different. So look, it was not. Yeah, there you go. And any of those that show it extended.
That one's good. That one, it looks like him shooting the free throw, and he shoots that he did that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is but again, look at the size and the detail of the head in that one compared to the size and detail of the head in Dwayne's. It's a completely different look. Yes, they got Coach Shula great. That was fine. Look, this is not perfect. But I thought
the Dolphins can't win for shit, but they can make statues.
Hey, the Joe Robbie statue is the same way. When you look at that Joe Robbie statue in front of what's called 10,000 different names since, they got that one right also. The Marino statue is closer also.
I was going to pull up the Marino statue next. I don't know. I think they should have hired the guy that does the Dolphin statues because holy shit, dude.
But you know what, folks? When you go to the arena and you look at the rest of the statue, and I detailed it at the Sun Sentinel today, the rest of the statue is spot on. So again, from the neck down, really good statue. From the neck up, hey, look at it from behind. That's how you get through that. No, not perfect. I thought Dwayne handled it great yesterday. He could have lashed out at the detractors. Instead, he had fun. He went with it. He said, hey, if you want to think it's a Lawrence Fishburne statue, God bless you. Have some fun and get on with your life.
Yeah. And look, I'm pulling up the Marino one, and the Marino one also is done pretty well, dude. It's done pretty well. The Marino.
That's Dan. I mean, again, that's Joe Robbie. That's Dan. That's Don Shula. That's Dwayne Wade, because I know from the uniform that he's wearing, which actually was a different uniform that day. If you remember, that was the Noche Latina night for the Heat. He was wearing El Heat on his jersey. So there was a little nuance there also to that. So kind of interesting there also. Yeah.
No, but again, well done. I probably would have made a 25-foot statue because that man deserves a 25-foot statue. I was saying that we spend our lives as sports fans. Okay, the next Henry Aaron, the next Michael Jordan, the next Marino, the next, and we want, one time Huizinga said that he was hoping that Joe Philbin was was it? Yeah, Joe Philbin was the next Don Shula or something like that. I remember he used that line, and then they held it against him forever and all that. And sometimes we have to come to the realization that there will never be a next one. You're not going to get another Kareem, and you're not going to get another Magic, and you're not going to get another Michael, and you're not going to get another Dwayne Wade.
And that's the thing, Big O. And that's the thing is that this took 37 years for them to come up with the subject. And people are asking, what about Udonis? What about Bam? Folks, it might be 3 decades off until you get another generational talent. Don't dilute the talent pool. We've diluted the Halls of Fame. You can make an argument we've diluted jersey retirements also.
Yes.
Make this special. Make this that you have your one guy there. And you know what? 30 years later, Big O and I will get passes to get out of the home. They'll wheel us out there. We'll see the next guy. But don't think every 2 years, every 5 years. As a matter of fact, a lot of us thought Pat Riley might have a statue. He has a core. You can wait.
That's the only 2 that deserve a statue. That's it, dude. It ends. No one else deserves.
Why not Mickey Arison? Why not Mickey Arison?
No. Yeah, obviously. Okay, Arison, I have no problem, with. In fact, maybe it should be the Arison, whatever that everything outside of the arena should be some kind of Arison type of, platform.
The Arison Plaza, something like that, sure.
Or something like that. Hell yeah, I got no problem. I got no problem with Mickey. I got no problem with Riley, and I got no problem with Wade. That's where it ends, dude.
Yes,
Please.
And then for now, and you know what? When the Heat win 3 titles down the road in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you honor the next generation, just like the Lakers did with Wilt, and then to Magic, and then to Kobe. But it doesn't have to be a regular thing and should not be a regular thing. And maybe after players see the statue, they'll go, yeah, I'll pass on that anyway.
Yeah. No, that one looks like the Fitzpatrick statue, pretty much. Now, that's probably the same sculptor that did the Fitzpatrick statue and the Wade statue. That's probably it.
Except one was for S and giggles, the other one not so much.
All right, 2 things.
Sure.
Last night, Luckily, you were playing Detroit because that's just not
correct.
It's just really not sexy basketball what I'm watching. But I get it. I get what the league is going into. In fact, I talked about this last week when I saw the style of play. You know, you hear about being available. So the message was already sent to Jimmy that you need to be available if you want to get paid. And then two, the other message that was sent to Jimmy is, yeah, we're not going to play that slow down basketball and all that. We need to play today's basketball, and everybody on the team needs to get on board. And I'm not exactly sure if this really compliments Jimmy overall. He had a good game yesterday, but it's kind of an odd thing because it looks like the organization itself is moving forward to moving into a style, and now they've got to make sure that they get the players along the way over the next whatever year, 2, 3 down the line to fit this kind of style, because this is what it requires from the league.
Spot on, and a good notice there. And it's clear that Jimmy is still playing Jimmy ball, and they're winning because of it. And now you're having a little push-pull. It was interesting. Dwayne Wade, twice went back to the Lincoln and the Pat Riley phrase of a house divided. He spoke about that. We sort of, watching the ceremony, like, what does he mean by that? Where's he going? Before the game yesterday, Dwayne was asked about Jimmy finding his place as an older player, as Dwayne did had to at one point. And he said, Jimmy's got to come on board. Jimmy's got to realize at 35, you're not the same player you were previously. You might have to compliment. Dwayne's really been pushing Bam as the face and the future of this team. And then Jimmy slows down the game yesterday. They win because of it. In Charlotte, he took 17 free throws, only made 11, but slowed the game with his free throws. Last night, 9 free throws, set the pace. I know the Heat, what they want to do and what today's modern NBA is. But as you know from the Dolphins, you can try to play a style. But if you don't have the players to fit the style, like when Tua was out, it looks like, oh my God. So if the Heat are going to be frenetic, run and gun, shoot threes, they have to change this roster. You can't have Jimmy on the roster. Honestly, I know you love him, Big O. Jaime Jaquez is a half-court player. So it's like you want to play a certain style, but you have to have the players to play the style. Right now, I'm not sure they do. I think there is Spoelstra ball. I think there is Butler ball. And I'm willing to see, I want to see if they can mesh or if they have to sort of come to some sort of compromise. The Dolphins offense, at least the first series this weekend, when Tua is playing, it works perfectly with Tua.
Right.
When Tua is out, it doesn't work.
No. But again, that's where Shula was beautiful. He knew that he couldn't run with Woodley what he did with Strock and vice versa. But he understood that. This guy here doesn't understand that. So that's a whole different, that's another conversation. But going back to this whole thing with Butler, okay, so if Butler has to adjust, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. First, let me go to the Jaquez thing to counter with that one.
Sure.
The Jaquez thing might be a problem if you have more Jaquezes like Butler and others on the team. But if you're able to unload Butler and others, if you have more of a run and gun, Jaquez can play off of those guys because he can play at an up-tempo pace, and he can counter the shooting with attacking. So it's not, you can have Jaquez as long as you don't have a lot of Jaquezes on the team. In other words, non-3-point shooters. But if you have more 3-point shooters, which is what you're saying, this is what they need to get now. They need to have more people that can play the perimeter.
And up-tempo players like Tyler, like Terry, guys who want to go out and run in the open court like Nikola. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And they don't have that. Plus, some of the guys they do have aren't experienced enough yet. That's the other thing, like Nikola, who can play it, but he's still, he's still a growing.
Yeah,
he's still a kid in this league. I'm saying Pele Larson looks like he fits this. But again, we're talking about a kid that we don't even know what he's going to develop into, no matter what we see from him and that we like. So, yeah, this is a hell of a challenge. This could be a very frustrating first half of a season for the Heat.
Well, it could be. And like you said, I don't mean elephant in the room in a bad way, but like we've mentioned in our Acura Pembroke Pines reports all offseason, all summer, the Jimmy Butler factor, you have to figure out who you are and what you are and where you're going. Now, let's be honest, Big O. I would not build a team around Jimmy Butler either with the unknowns of his option year, of free agency, if he's going to be here. So if you build it and say, you know what, we're going to back off. We're not going to shoot as many threes. We're not going to run. We're going to go in the half court. We're going to play to Jimmy. Is he here after the February trading deadline? Is he here after June? You have to take a long view with what you're doing also. You were just mentioning before I came on our Acura Pembroke Pines report about the Dolphins. Should they sell guys off? Should they start all over again? You have to have a base of where your team is headed and who you are. You've seen it all the time with the Dolphins. They change who they are. We're going to be this. We're going to be that. We're going to keep changing. You wind up being nowhere. I think it's smart for the Heat to look to the younger players and say, this is our future. We'll work with Jimmy in here, but we don't know how long he's going to be here. And honestly, Jimmy doesn't know how long he's going to be here. So Jimmy is sort of saying, not in a bad way, but in his own way, F this. I'm going to be a free agent. I got to keep being Jimmy Butler. I can't be some servient guy playing a complimentary style. Those guys don't get $50 million contracts. It's going to be interesting. Thankfully, and you always mention this, there's Eric Spoelstra there, a guy who can take charge, who has respect from the older players and the younger players. Without that, if this was just a Mike McDaniel kind of team, you'd kind of wonder who's controlling this, who's bringing it together.
Yeah, and by the way, I agree with what they're doing. You have to move forward because this is the style that the league requires. And to play the other style, it's impossible because you have to be, you have to be a shutdown defense in order to play that style because the offenses are just too explosive and the math just doesn't jive. If the other team is making a bunch of threes, the amount of twos you've got to make and the amount of stops you've got to get, it's too taxing. Put it that way, actually.
And also, they're playing a gambling style and going for steals. And because of that, you don't want to steal the ball and stop. You want to steal the ball and keep running. You want to flare it out to the three-point line. You want to attack. You want to get an and one. So you can't say, okay, great steal, Tyler. Now dribble back to midcourt. Give the ball to Jimmy. Get out of the way. We've seen years of that. It's a hard watch. For times last night, it was a hard watch. You have to get something different. That's Eric Spoelstra's chore. We will know by midseason. You've spoken to me about this, whether you break it up, whether you trade Jimmy. This is good now. This is good to have the uneven ride. See what works, see what doesn't work, and then see who it works with.
Okay, but it's good. And could it be bad because you're not putting Jimmy in his best light? And so you may not get the best out of Jimmy. And so then you may not be able to move him. But if you play Jimmy ball and allow him to be Jimmy, and then all the way through halfway through the season, people see it and say, okay, we need to add that piece of finisher on our team that can, help us defensively and finish at the basket and all that kind of stuff. Are you kind of hurting what you're trying to trade too at the same time?
It doesn't matter because Jimmy is so F this. We saw it Saturday. We saw it Monday. He's going to be Jimmy regardless. He's going to be, hey, Smo, great. Let's bring it in. Great game plan. Let's go out and execute until, boom, Jimmy goes, yeah, no, I'm going to sort of do it my way. And what Jimmy said after the game was a compromise. I can play any style, but I know who I am. And you have to deal with that. It's managing egos. It's dealing with that also. This is the difference between basketball and football. Jimmy can go out and force his game on the game. Tyreek Hill can't. Someone has to get him the ball. Tyreek can complain all he wants to be featured, to get the ball, to have more deep throws, but it's not just up to him. It's up to the play caller. It's up to Tua getting the ball out there. The one thing about Jimmy, you can run and gun and pace and space and do all you want, but give me the goddamn ball and I'm going to be Jimmy now. And there's no one calling a timeout or stopping him. Jimmy Butler, for better or worse, is in control of his situation as he always has been.
Well, the Bam thing, the 3-point thing isn't really, he's
not
still
fooling anyone. He's not fooling anyone. He is who he is. He is I believe Orlando Alzagari at one point said super role player, but he is what he is. Even last night's game, he didn't get his first shot until 7 minutes were left in the second period. But he still had his 3 steals. He still had his 3 block shots. He still had double-digit rebounds on a team desperate for double-digit rebounds. Bam Adebayo is as essential as any player on this roster, but that doesn't make him a superstar.
No, he's a super role player. That's what he is, because he's not just a role player. He is a amazing stat filler that he does everything for. He's never, ever been the problem. The problem has always been that the Heat could not get the 2 stars they needed to lead the team. That's all.
And
Bam
that's
is
what
more than capable to be the number 3 because he's exactly what you want as the number 3, the guy that's willing to take the back seat and do all the complimentary stuff around the 2 stars. He's perfect for number 3, dude. Perfect.
Yes, it's who he is. You know what? One day you're going to do this show live on the lot at Acura Pembroke Pines. You can go out to the used car lot and you can talk about all these super rolled used cars we can get for you, because that's who Bam is. He complements what you're trying to feature, but he might not exactly be buffed up in the showroom right now. He might get there, but not at the moment.
No. We could use Asia. You know.
Yeah. I guess Kat's out of the bag there. She was in Charlotte watching the Heat play the Hornets. Boom, the next day she's in Miami sitting with Bam at the Wade statue ceremony. Hey, he wants to keep his stuff private. He has a right there. But what your eyes tell you you're seeing is what you're seeing. And good for him. Be young, be happy, be rich.
Oh, I have no problem with that. I'm just telling you, she's a badass, bro. Okay? I watch the league. Okay? I love watching that woman play because she's just a complete dog.
All right, put it up on the Big O Show poll. Who would out rebound the other one, Asia or Bam? Who's the better rebounder?
No, Bam will out rebound. Asia will outscore, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Asia, man, she's fun to watch, dude. She plays with this mean streak. You know, she plays with like this attitude all the time, and I think she's feared in the league because of that. You know, she like women look at her and like, yeah, don't mess with her, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, she's impressive, dude. She's impressive. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel?
You know, I'm working on a story on the Steels. It was very interesting. Before yesterday's game, Eric Spoelstra said the iconic Dwayne Wade play began when he shot the gap and went for a steal against the Bulls. And he said, if Dwayne doesn't get that steal, the Bulls get an open shot, they win in double overtime, you forget. But great players know when to try to make great plays. The Heat then went out, loaded up on steals against the Pistons. That's who they were then. That's who they are right now. This is a gambling team. This is a Kenny Rogers team. They are going to be the gamblers. That's who they have to be. They don't have great lockdown defenders. You're opening with Rozier. You're opening with Hero. You're opening with Jovic. You're not going to go 5-on-5. You can't find a mismatch. They're a gambling team. It worked against Charlotte. It worked against Detroit. Will it work against the Elite? It didn't against Orlando. We'll see Wednesday against the Knicks. So I'm working on that story. And I'm just doing a story on how basically Terry and Tyler have to get double-digit threes for this team because they're the guys who are going to spark the three-point game. Duncan Robinson hasn't found someone on that second unit who yet knows how to play with his game. Bam has been great with that. No one on the second unit. So it might be that as much as Duncan Robinson is the best three-point shooter on this team, he won't get the most three-point shots. So I'm working on steals. I'm working on three-point shots. I'll let someone else fix the statue.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. And, of course, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, thank you, as always, my man. Appreciate you.
And next time, feel free to blur my face. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Next time we'll do that. Actually, it was probably a little blurred. No, on his side, it wasn't blurred. On my side, it was. That's true. The 2025 Integra is in, and it's beautiful. Dude, there's a black sports. It's probably gone already at this point. But it was nasty. It was just right outside the showroom, literally right outside the showroom. If you go see it, out of control. Anyway, they've got it $339 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The ZDX is in 2024 models. We still have some, $479 a month, 0.9% financing for 72 months. The RDX, that thing is a tank, bro. A tank. My wife has beaten up hers for like 14 years now. $379 a month for the 2024. We still have a few of those left. 3.9% financing for 60 months. The 2025 models are in. Go check it out. We've got certified pre-owned vehicles, and they will blow you away. They look like they're brand new. And if you own or lease an Acura, get on down there at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber, they do great work, and they will service your vehicle at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
By the way, Pat in Nashville sent me a picture of Pat Tillman. and it's the same sculptor apparently. That's what he tells me, which I didn't know. And he did a great job with the Pat Tillman one. Just screwed it up. Oh, the Smudge Pot. There we go. Saturday, next Saturday, we're in California. We're in Los Angeles, and we're doing 2 appearances at Dolphin fans. And this is John Phillips' place. Jalen Phillips' dad. John Phillips has a brewery in California. It's in the Redlands there. And it's called Smudge Pot Brewing Company. There you see it, 2025 West Park Avenue, Redland, California. So come on out and join us. We're going to have a big old Dolphins fans get together there at John Phillips' place. Ooh, my bad. Sean, do me a favor. Send Manny a link. I did not send him a link for noon. For 11, I'm sorry. For 11 a.m. Okay, there we go. All right. So we'll be there next Saturday. All right. This Saturday night will be at the River Pub in Niagara, 40 minutes from Buffalo. And then on Sunday, we'll be doing the pre and post game show there. So come on out. Remember, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation also there at Cash App or Venmo, and PayPal. PayPal is the other way you can make a donation, because I was told, people told me from around the world, actually, that I did not know this, that they can't do any donations through Cash App or Venmo. So they asked me, what about PayPal? And I do have PayPal, but I never put it out there. But there's our PayPal, okay? And there's our QR code. You can use it if you want to make a donation. You can send in your comment, your question, your insult, and even a compliment. If you want to give us a compliment, that would be actually fantastic. And so there you go. You can do that. Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. And by the way, if you search on PayPal for Orlando Alzigari, you'll see the Crypto Bro Show logo. And then that's me. That is yours truly. So when you see the Crypto Bro Show logo, there you go. All right. By the way, 71,811. You didn't do the poll question. Damn it. So 71,811. We're about to hit 72. It's a beautiful thing.
You must have told me to do that when I stepped out. I did not hear Ray.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. All right. It's I was gonna say, will Bitcoin, because we were in the early 71s. So will Bitcoin hit? And then I put 72K, 73K, or down to 69. I always do the negative one, because the negative one is the one that gets all the votes, because the people that they didn't get into Bitcoin, or they don't believe in it, or they want it to fail, which is like the weirdest thing. Like, whatever. Why? Because you didn't get in it, you want it to fail or something? Like, it's kind of weird. I have a family member like, oh, that's going to fail. And I go, why? Because you didn't invest? So I mess with him like that. I go, is that why? Because you don't have any? And so, yeah. 71,872. We're about to hit 72, bro. All right, let's see. Big O, we need to hand out some victories. Yes, you are correct, sir. Let's start off with the Florida Panthers. They won 5-2 against the Sabres. They are now 7-3-1. They are leading the league in points, top of the conference. Give them, Sean Stanley, a victory. Cigar. The Miami Heat last night got it done against the 0-4 sorry-ass pathetic Pistons. They better win that game. They are 2-1 on the season and 2 victories against 2 bad teams. But let's give them what they deserve, a victory cigar. And, we like to figure out who's the MVP of the night. That's something that we do here on the show. And the Florida Panthers are 7-3-1. Barkov, Bennett, Reinhart, Verhaeghe all had goal and an assist in the game. I mean, it was a Boquist, I think, was the 5th goal, if I'm correct. And let's get back to that Panthers game to point out who is our MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
Dude, I'm going to go with Bobrovsky. Why? Because he is obviously a guy that came here with a ton of hype, and he did not live up to the hype because he was one of the best goaltenders, if not considered the best goaltender at that moment, whatever. Definitely the best available in free agency. They gave him a massive, massive contract. And you look at where he's at and you say, okay, it was bad. It was bad. He was not playing well. And he was not living up to that salary. And he easily could have gone into the abyss and climbed out of it, played his ass off, and he became back to what he was. In fact, when Vegas recently lost to the Panthers, they tweeted out, "We got Bobrovski'd." That means you're back to being who you are and that they respect you and those kind of things. And Bob, by the way, again, 5-2 in the win-loss column so far this season. All right. He's got an .892 save percentage. Last year was at .915, .901, and .913 the last 3 years before that. He'll pick that part up. But so far, 5-2 is pretty damn good. Last night, he had 26 saves against a pretty good team overall. Not a great team, but a decent team. So on the road, too, on top of all of that, there's been a long road trip for him. I got to give Bobrovsky the MVP of the night. I know, Barkov returned from injury, and he was terrific last night, and they were dominant, and they got in front of the Sabres right away, dude. It was great. It was great. They were in control of that game right away. But I just, the steadiness of Bob is priceless. And while I love what Barkov did yesterday, I got to give it to the guy that's been there through the ups and downs so far early on this season. Really tough start, brutal road trip here. Now you're in Finland for 2 more games. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Bob is only going to play one of the 2 games because you're playing one at 1 o'clock, Friday at 1 o'clock, and then Saturday morning at 11 a.m. It's the weirdest thing. Friday, 1 p.m., because, of course, you're in Finland. It's a different time over there. And then Saturday, you're playing at 11 a.m., okay? So, I'm sure he's only going to play one of those 2 games, but he's been a pillar of stability. And I got to give Mr. Bobrovsky our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
Ride, and please call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will get it done for you. William Quigley and company. They are just absolutely amazing. From landscaping, outdoor lighting, irrigation, 954-472-0672. That's They call them Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 954-472-0622. Reach out to William Quigley. Michael is like this mad designer, bro. Like he walks onto your business, your home, and he starts looking, and his mind is going at 1,000 miles an hour, and he can design some beautiful things for your home. So make sure you call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, where you can expect excellence. All right, hour number 1 is done. Hour number 2 is next. And guess who's here? That's right, Manny Navarro. Bitcoin is pumping. It's at 71,878. It's up nearly 5%. Why? Because it sensed that Manny Navarro was coming to join us with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slomin's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. 71,859. So is it hitting 72 here during this interview?
I hope so, brother. I hope I continue my run of good luck here for you.
You always do, bro. You know, we're 1,500 away from all-time high.
Wow.
73.3 is the all-time high for Bitcoin. So we're literally $1,500 away from the all-time high.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. That is absolutely awesome. So we'll see if we hit 72 during this interview. I would not be surprised, since you're on. It usually ends up pumping. It's up 4.9% leading into this interview. So pressure's on. You got to come through now. Just like the Canes.
Yes.
Last week I expected them to win, but again, rivalry game and all of that. You know, the progress I'm going to say is prior Canes teams would have lost a few of these games already. You would not be 8-0. So kudos to Manny. Kudos to Mario that he is getting the kind of players that he needs for his program right now. They're not where they need to be. We see it with the defense and all. I get all of that, dude. They still have a lot to go. But damn, dude, progress has been made.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing I took away from the FSU win is that they got back to being a team that could run the football and not have to rely on Cam Ward to do everything, right? And you saw shades of it at Louisville, especially late in the game, where Damian Martinez came in and he just started, running through the defense. I think in this game, Florida State came in with the ideal game plan of what you have to do to beat Miami, which is frustrate Cam Ward, bring pressure, and play zone, and don't let him go over the top. And I think ultimately FSU tried it. They basically said, "Go ahead, Miami, run the football on us," and that's what Miami did. They ran the ball down their throats, and again, that's kudos to Mario Cristobal for building a bigger, badder offensive and defensive line in the 3 years that he's been here. So to me, that's what carries over. You need a quarterback to win big. but you can win games like that against a rival and pretty much, control the game if you can run the football and stop the run, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and I always have this theory that whoever your coach is, wherever they came from, expect that part of your team to be, the strength of your team. If he's a defensive coach and he's your head coach, you'll probably have a great defense. If you're led by Andy Reid, you're going to have a great offense. If you're led by Mario Cristobal, I expect you, dude, to have a great offensive line because that's your forte, man.
Yeah.
You know what it takes you know what a good lineman is because you were a good lineman. So you know what it takes to be great at that position. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I do admire because he has come here and has built that up. And Mirabal, obviously, is probably one of your better assistants on this team right now.
Yeah, for sure. Valuable, a guy who knows how to develop linemen. And let's not forget, yes, Francis Marinoa is a 5-star, but a lot of these guys are like 3-star kids that they develop. Inez Cooper is a 3-star kid that they develop. Matthew McCoy, your left guard, a 3-star kid. They weren't all like 5-star. Mario didn't just come in and start recruiting 5-stars left and right on the offensive and even the defensive lines. It's taken a little bit of time because Miami's been so bad at that position for so long that, kids need to see proof of concept. And so you develop the Inez Coopers of the world, the Matthew McCoys, you get this center in from Indiana, and you win. And look, they gave up a few sacks, but I think the majority of the sacks that have been given up this year, if we're being honest, have been Cam Ward trying to extend plays, right? And not just getting rid of the football. So I don't think necessarily the offensive line has been bad. I think last year's unit was a little bit better. But I think when push comes to shove, those guys can control the line of scrimmage in the run game. And we've yet to really see anybody just shut this team down when they want to run the football.
Well, Doggy, we got ourselves a little fun game because now we get Manny Diaz up against Mario. And obviously, Manny's going to be super pumped to try to win this game. This is his bowl game pretty much. This will make the Duke season now if they can actually get this done. So what are you seeing from Duke?
Well, super opportunistic defensive team, which is Manny's forte, right? He's a defensive coordinator. You talked about, guys representing what their coach does. Duke is second in the country in turnovers forced this season. They forced 19 turnovers in their 8 games. Last game, they had 6 against SMU and still lost because they couldn't protect a field goal block team. Jafari Harvey jumped over the line of scrimmage, former Hurricane, and blocked what would have been a game-winning 30-yard field goal. So, look, this Duke team is 6-2. They're well coached. Manny Diaz does a good job on the defensive side of the ball, but they do not have enough offensively to hang with Miami, which is why the line is 20.5 points going into this game, because most people look at Miami and they say, well, number 1 offense in the country in terms of points per game, number 1 offense in terms of yards per play. But you are going against a Duke defense that has done a good job taking the ball away and keeping their teams in it. The difference is Duke really hasn't beaten a good team yet. Their losses are to SMU and Georgia Tech, who have winning records, obviously, in the ACC. And their wins are over North Carolina, who's 4-4, and a bad FSU team like Miami just beat. Northwestern, UConn, who's a mid-major, who's 5-3. So not really an impressive win yet, but I do think this will be a game that Manny Diaz tries his very best, whatever it is he has to do on defense, to keep this game as close as possible.
Yeah. Can they?
I think they can if Miami turns the ball over. I think if we see the Cam Ward that we saw at Cal, right, who decides I'm gonna just fling it and I don't care and I'm gonna make mistakes because I'm confident we're gonna win anyway, then I think Duke can definitely stay in the game. They've got a running back in Star Thomas who can run the football and make plays. Malik Murphy. If you look at some of his statistics, he's not a bad quarterback. He's a top 100 guy. I think he's 83rd in QBR, so it's like middle of the road. But he's 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So it's not like he's he's terrible. He completes, almost close to 60% of his attempts. So they have guys that can do something. I think this game is just going to be like the Florida State game. Does Miami show patience? Do they run the football? Duke's run defense is not very good. That's typical of Manny Diaz, right? We remember those days here at Miami when they got shredded on the ground because he wants to pressure the quarterback and create turnovers. So does Miami go out there and do the same thing? Cam Ward obviously wants to win the Heisman Trophy. He wants to put up numbers. Didn't throw a touchdown pass last week. Didn't throw any picks, but he wants to put up numbers. So we'll see how aggressive they are and having Cam rip the ball and just put up numbers.
Yeah, but it's not about Cam. It's really more about Mario. And Mario has no problem Cam not throwing a touchdown if you're dominating the game and you're dominating on the ground. And I think, in these kind of situations, if you can dominate on the ground, you do it. You do it because that's how you control the football. You control the clock. You also there's less risk for turnover. And when Ward wants to throw, you're going to have a much more open field if you've got those two big mothers punishing the shit out of defenses. Because that's the other thing. You have a 1-2 punch now that can literally punish defenses. Because those two run hard, bro.
Yeah, wow. And I think that's – and remember, early on in the season, I kept telling you, wait till Mark Fletcher gets healthy. And wait till Damian Martinez really settles in. And the last 2 weeks, Damian Martinez looks like the guy who was worth that. Whatever it was they paid him in NIL, brother. He looks like that guy, right? The 1,000-yard back that was running at Oregon State the last 2 years. So he's got two dudes. And I would even venture to say I like A.J. Allen, the kid who comes in the fourth quarter and provides that spark. It really does look a lot more like the old 2001 team in terms of putting up huge offensive numbers and being able to have various guys in the backfield run the football. So I think the only thing that's lacking is the big explosive, big play wide receiver. Look, Xavier Restrepo is great for what he does, but he's a slot guy. I think we'll see what teams do with good cornerbacks and pressure and how they try to take away the big play from Miami going forward. Because FSU, I told you going into the game, they've got good corners and good safeties, and that's what we saw. We saw those guys pretty much hold the passing game in check.
Yeah, and that's fine. And you adjusted and dominated on the ground and took care of business on defense. I have no problem with the way you played. You adjusted and you did what you had to do. Injury-wise, they came out of that game pretty clean, right? Overall, not going to be missing anybody seriously in this week, right?
No, Mario said yesterday that Wesley Besainth, which I think I told you right after the game on Saturday, that I thought he was fine. He came back in, if I'm not mistaken. So,
right. And the Brown kid,
Damari Brown.
Yeah, he hobbled off a little, but I think he came back too. So, right.
I'm trying to figure out which kid you're talking about. Not Damari Brown. Damari Brown hasn't played since the opener.
The receiver.
Oh, yeah, Sam Brown. Yes. Yeah, I don't think there's anything serious with either one of those guys. So they should be at full strength for this game in terms of everybody they've had the last several weeks.
So number 5, Miami, favored by 20. Where the over and under is 54.5.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to cover. I can see Duke keeping this close because Duke has not gotten blown out yet. They've kept every game close because of the turnovers. So I could see Miami making a mistake or two. I could see Manny Diaz keeping it within 20. Does that mean that we're sweating it out in the fourth quarter? Not necessarily. It just might be more of a 14-point, 17-point type win, 38-21, something of that nature, where Miami maybe in the second half does more of what we say, run the football down Duke's throat and beat them. I know Mario definitely would love to pound them the same way he wanted to do that to FSU last week. But, again, I think good defensive coaches like Manny Diaz are going to make as many adjustments as they can to contain this offense from exploding and not let Cam Ward beat them. And Duke's secondary's done a decent job to this point, brother. I mean, they are 8th in the country in pass efficiency defense. They're only, 30th in completion percentage, only 7 touchdowns allowed, 9 interceptions. So again, opportunistic defense. I think Manny Diaz finds a way to keep it respectable. So I would not take the over on the 20, but I would take the over on the points because Miami can score, and I think they will. They have yet to score under 38. I think Duke will score some points as well.
I like what you're saying a lot. And when I'm thinking about it, the offensive line for Miami is good, but it's accessible at times when you blitz it.
Yeah.
When you bum rush it, sometimes there's some leakage that happens with that offensive line. And it's happened throughout the year. And I think that Manny Diaz is going to see that on tape. And because he's such a crafty blitzer, I agree with you. I think he's going to surprise Miami at times. And I think Cam Ward will be on the floor a couple of times because Manny will figure out a couple of ways to get to Cam and kind of disrupt him a little bit. So, yeah, I certainly don't want to lay the 20 points. It's too much. Duke has played well enough that you're right. They keep things close. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say Miami wins by double digits, but I don't know if it gets to 20. It might be right underneath that. Like I said, 14-17 seems like a more reasonable final score.
Yeah, I can see that, and I'm actually not touching this game. Jesus, the money line is minus 1350.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way that maybe the over because Miami's defense isn't that good. And you can score on it. The over might be about the only play there. That's about it. But, yeah, I'm definitely not laying the points there. All right, what do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, man, just came out with a couple of articles yesterday, including a column on Miami and Mario, and just basically trying to make the point that, while Miami fans certainly want to celebrate, hey, the U is back, right? They're 8-0 and ranked 5th in the country. I think we need to look at Florida State as the perfect example, right, of why you don't celebrate being back, so to speak, because you got to build a sustainable winner, and that's really what it's all about. And Mario is here to build a sustainable winner, not a one-shot trick pony like Florida State was last year, where they win the conference and they fall apart and go 1-7 the following year. So,
but many they're not back. They haven't built it yet.
No.
That defense tells you they're not back yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're back when they're dominating offensively and defensively, because we know right now, even though there aren't a ton of real dominant teams in college football, I still don't think they'll do well against the Georgia, because I think Georgia will beat them up at times. So they're not there yet. They're not anybody that says Miami's back. Come on, dude, they're not back yet. They're better now. They're finally they're making progress, like what we said at the beginning of the interview. They're not back yet. That's silly talk if any fan is going there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, listen, Mario took great pride in pounding his fist in the post-game press conference to say, hey, we're the best team in the state. But I don't know that necessarily means anything with how bad this state is, Big Ho.
Right. Big deal. That doesn't mean shit. Right. That's like the late great Mad Dog. I'll steal your line. That's like being the valedictorian of summer school. You know, that's
yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's, it just, wow, you're the best in the state. So what? Football played in the state right now is really, really bad. And your football is not great. So come on, man. You're not the old Canes yet. Let's hope you'll get there, but not yet. But they're making progress, which is what we have to be happy about. It's what we said at the beginning. Normally, the teams of the last 10, 15 years would not be 8-0 right now. So you have to be super happy with that. That's it. That's all.
And just keep recruiting well, just keep building depth, and hopefully the next great quarterback, whoever it is, whoever he turns out to be, right? We didn't know who Cam Ward was this time last year, unless you were staying up for Pac-12 after dark. Whoever the next great quarterback is decides to come to Miami, or maybe Emory Williams turns into that guy, but we won't know that until the offseason, brother.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Malachi Crunch is back.
Malachi Crunch.
Yeah, the receiver. Malachi, or whatever the hell his name is.
Oh, Malachi, yes, the American Heritage kid, yes.
I just wanted to mix in the Happy Days, the Malachi Crunch, and all that. Just the whining Malachi is back. Is he really a Mario guy?
Yeah, it's not often that Miami takes back guys who decommit. I think part of this is the kid was a 2026 recruit. Okay, he was supposed to be in the 2026 class. He reclassified to 25, which means he's going to graduate early. And I think, you know, who knows who was getting in his head and telling him, hey man, you got to open things back up and visit other schools. I know he went to Alabama right before he decommitted from Miami, but look, the kid realizes Alabama probably doesn't want me. Let me go to the school that does and has maintained a relationship with me and stop being silly. And so it happens. Miami has guys on this roster that were committed and then dropped out of the class and then got back in. So it's just the way things operate now. Silly season.
Yeah, no, because we're at 71,900 here, and I'm thinking, oh, this son of a bitch is going to do it again. It's you're going to hit 72 during your interview. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's impressive right there. Almost.
We were getting there. But it's all right.
So it looks like we're about to hit it, man. We're about to hit it. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and make sure you subscribe to The Athletic and follow him every single day. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up Friday. I can't do postgame. That's right. I can't do postgame because I am traveling to Buffalo. So
okay. Well, safe travels. Safe travel. We'll talk Friday, though.
Yes, we'll talk on Friday. We'll do our big cheese and we'll do our Caneswear report, my friend. Appreciate you.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
Thank you. Don't forget, Big O10 is your key to save 10% off there at Caneswear. By the way, they have a sale on Inter Miami gear, 30% off. And if you use my code, Big O10, then that's 10 more. That's 40% off. There you go. And if you order online, you will get free shipping over $99. I mean, many ways to save. They got anything and everything practically with a Canes logo. They got Dolphins gear. They got Heat gear. They got Panthers gear. They got it all for you there at Caneswear. And use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The beauty is that all these shorts are getting liquidated. And that's why we're watching this pump right now, which is absolutely crazy. About to hit 72,000 right now. It's 71,967. Pretty good. Oh, there we are. Oh, it hit. Yeah. Woo! 72. Yeah. 72. There we go. You saw it. 72,000. And these shorts are getting liquidated. So it's just building, and it's just, you just got to hang in there. You got to have patience. It will pay off because it's automatic pretty much. Doesn't matter. Whoever you vote in is going to print 10 trillion more plus 10 trillion. It might be 11, 12 trillion when they're done 4 years from now, whoever gets in. So trust me, Bitcoin is going to be ripping for years to come. And right now, for the next 6 months, you are just going to see what you have never seen before in the markets. That is a beautiful thing. 72,000. By the way, where are all those haters? I'm still waiting. They disappeared. Bitcoin's going down to 8 or 10, or it's going to 0 and all that stuff. So it's amazing how those haters disappear, don't they? Gotta say, crazy stuff. Lenny says, got to give Mario credit. He's building this thing the right way, and he's also taking advantage of the transfer portal. Well, you better. You better. Luke, good morning. Can we fire McDaniel and promote Wes Welker? You could, but they won't. I can't see the Dolphins trading players like Armstead, Mostert, Wilson. No, they're not. They're not trading anybody, dude. They're not going to do that. I just don't expect that. And I don't expect them to be buyers either. I don't expect them to be sellers and certainly not buyers. No. Off-season tweak? Yes. Now, no. I don't expect that whatsoever. Let's see. And it's not like they have, unless they can trade something of excess. Like we have too much of this and we really don't need it. And I don't think they have that right now. So, yeah, no. How many points do you think the Bills of eating the Dolphins or beating the Dolphins by? I say 21. I say this, not that I'm betting it, but the 6 points is a gift. I'm sorry. The Bills favored by 6 at home against the Dolphins. I think Vegas is giving way too much respect for the Dolphins. I'm expecting easily a double-digit loss by the Dolphins. Easily a double-digit loss. Yeah. So not that I'm betting it, but that's a gift. Bills by 6. It went down. It was 6.5 yesterday. It's 6 now. Gift. Did you see the tight ends? You see what Arizona did? What do you think the Bills are going to do? They live throwing to the tight ends. You're going to kill Miami, dude. So, yeah, I'm not I really have zero hope for this weekend. What do you think? ETH going to pump? Now, yeah, everything, all the alts will follow once this thing takes off and we start getting into the 70s and into the 80s. The alts will then start pumping because the average person foolishly, okay, the people that don't know anything about this, foolishly, oh, no, I can't. It's too late to get into Bitcoin, which is so stupid, but I get it. You don't know anything. You don't understand it, so that's why you say that. But that's what's going to happen, and they say, okay, well, then I'll buy Ethereum and Solana and everything else. And that's what's going to happen. So then the alts will then pump after. So that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks here as this whole thing, takes off. Now we have a super green. We had the greenest September ever for Bitcoin. And now we're going to have, we told you, super green October. It was already green. Now it's getting even greener, which is absolutely beautiful. All right, let's see what we got here. Remember, Cash App, Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can use the QR codes. And also, you can use PayPal. Okay. Let's see. Jason Pesson says, let me know if you want to meet up for wings in Buffalo. And he left me his number. Jason, we're going to be in 2 places, my brother. Come on out and join us. I appreciate the Venmo. We're going to be, we're going to be at one place 2 days in a row. We're going to be at the River Pub, okay, in Niagara on Saturday for a big Dolphins fans event. Saturday evening, we'll be there. So you can join us there at the River Pub. Or Sunday, we'll be at the River Pub for pre- and post-game. So if you're not going specifically to the game, then go to the River Pub in Niagara. Join us for the pre- and post-game show. We'll be giving away shirts and all kinds of stuff. And that's where we can hook up at the River Pub. So Saturday night for a party. Okay, Dolphins party there at the River Pub, and then Sunday pre- and post game at the River Pub. So that's where we're going to get together, my brother. So come on out and join us. Thank you, sir, for the Venmo, Cash App, or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App, or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation on Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a donation through PayPal. Send in your questions, comments, compliments, insults. They're also on PayPal. You can do that too. So it's all there for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Bills are going to mop the floor with us. Sad to say, but it's true. The minute Tua went out with the concussion, all hopes went out the window. Man, this sucks to be in this position again. I know. Jordan Murray says we will lose 42-14. Yeah, that sounds terrible. But it's going to be a bad showing. I wish I had hope for our Dolphins, but we don't. Look, folks, let's look at what's going on. McDaniel is facing an impossible task. That's what's happening right now. McDaniel is facing an impossible task because he's incompetent. We're asking him to go with a team that has a mediocre defense, inconsistent top receivers that drop the football, a coach that is inconsistent himself on how he calls a game, a special teams unit that you can't really count on, a kicker that you really can't count on. You got a lot of issues. His team is never prepared. His team always is making mistakes in key moments, killing drives, killing opportunities. And when does he stop the bleeding? How many times does Mike McDaniel beat good teams? You know, this has been a problem for the Dolphins for 25 years. But, okay, this is the latest coach to inherit this job. And really, let's be honest. No one believes in Mike McDaniel anymore as a Dolphins fan. If you do, you're just lying to yourself. You don't really believe in the guy. So he doesn't have a history of winning against good teams. He doesn't have a history of having a team that plays smart. His teams are rarely ever prepared. And the Bills dominate him. So where am I supposed to feel like this guy can overcome the impossible task? Really, I'd love to know that. Because if you're talking about that, you're just lying to yourself. Writers are going to try to, and you saw a little bit from Furones and from Perk. Well, if you win this week or what, they got to sell the hopium because they've got to sell the papers. You know what I mean? They can't flat out come out like I do and just say, dude, season's over. You don't have the coach to get this done. You saw it. The adversity hit, and Mike McDaniel folded like a cheap tent. You saw it when Tua got hurt that night. Mike McDaniel folded like a cheap tent. You saw it the first year he was here. He had no idea what down it was in a playoff game. The long history is there with Mike McDaniel. For 2.5 years, we have watched this man make incompetent move after incompetent move after incompetent move. Incompetence is putting a brace on Jalen Phillips' knee, who already had a repaired Achilles on that same leg, and send them back out there. That's incompetence. He shows incompetence in everything he does. Going for that field goal last week, incompetence. You know who Jason Sanders is. It's early enough in the game. If you can't get that yard, bro, you don't belong in this league. and you've been running. So let's go. And the decisions are endless on how incompetent he is. So we're asking Mike McDaniel to complete the impossible, to do the things he never does. Win against good teams, play respectable football, beat the Bills, make good decisions in game. Hell, he won a challenge last week. That means he's going to lose the next 8 or 10. That's how bad it is. It's not like he figured it out and he's going to start winning his challenges. It's not like he's figured out that, you got to run the ball more. We don't know that yet, but it's been a nice 3 weeks. But knowing him, he'll abandon it on Sunday and have Tua just throw 50 times. We're asking Mike McDaniel to do what he's never done. We're asking Mike McDaniel to be what he's never been. So if you're still sitting there thinking, waiting, or praying for Mike McDaniel to become a respectable head coach, you got a long ways to wait. In fact, it's never going to happen. All right. The other thing I will say, the running game, have you noticed that Robert Jones has benefited from it? He's done a good job because if Robert can get his hands on you, that's what he is. If he has to pass protect, that's where he struggles. So it's the running game has been a good friend for Robert Jones over the last couple of weeks. It's really helped him play much better. So kudos to Robert, and kudos especially to McDaniel for sticking to the run like he hasn't for 3 straight weeks. I hope it's a sign of things to come, but it's hard to trust that man. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we do that, folks? 786-618-1443. The great Alan Blanco, he is amazing. So if your company needs custom printing and embroidery, please call him. You can do this anywhere in the country. Call him. 786-618-1443. All that stuff is pretty much done by Zoom and all that with logos and pictures and GIFs and all that. So you can do that anywhere in the country and call Alan Blanco. That's his personal cell. You can reach out to him, 786-618-1443. Panthers defeat the Sabres 5-2. Number 1 in the conference in points, 7-3-1. Bob had 26 saves. Barkov returned with a goal and an assist. That is amazing. They flew to Finland. They landed already. They're at the Nokia Arena, and they'll be taking on Dallas on Friday at 1 p.m. Dallas, 1 p.m. It's a little heavy metal for you if you're a Saxon fan. And then they'll play Dallas again on Saturday at 11 a.m. But Dallas, 1 p.m. Heat over the Pistons, 106-98. Wednesday, they will take on the Knicks, 7:30 tip for that. World Series action, the Doyers over the Junkies, 4-2. The Doyers are leading the series 3-0. Way to go, Aaron Judge. Freddie Freeman working on that MVP, baby. He's got that shit wrapped up, right? It doesn't matter what happens in Game 4. Freddie Freeman already won the MVP. Give me a break. Home runs in every game. Today or tonight, the Dodgers have a chance to eliminate the Junkies. 8:08 first pitch on Fox. The Steelers defeated the Giants in Monday Night Football. I wish. Thursday night, 26-18. Pitt improves to 6-2. Najee Harris, the man that would have made the Dolphins a Super Bowl contender. At least that's what I was told. 19 rushes, 114 yards. Saturday at noon, Duke visits number 5 UM, and the U is favored by 20. The over and under is 54.5. And then Saturday at 7, game 2 of the playoffs. I'll be watching from the River Pub in Buffalo. Atlanta hosting Inter Miami. 7 o'clock is the tip. 72,180, bitch. Ha! We are 1,150 from the all-time high. This is exciting. This is getting good. We've been waiting for this. Something tells me that the Crypto Bro Show is going to be pretty jacked up today. I don't know. Something says it. I don't know. I got a feeling. What, do we go to 73 today? Do we hit the record today? It's awesome. I thought we would hit 70 last week, but I'm glad it's here, man. And maybe all-time high before even the month is over. And after the election, this thing is going to sky freaking rocket. We're going to the 90s. Mark my words. I've been telling you this. We're going to go between the 90s and 120. So, I can only give you my opinion, and that's all it is. I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch. Okay? Not that I don't know what's going on, right? Look at the results, right? I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, Soldier of God says, Big O, buenos dias, mi hermano, saludos de Plainfield, Illinois. Big O, I'm so nauseated listening to Ronald McDonald the Clown press conferences. Can't listen to his BS ums and nonsense anymore. When you don't win, my brother, you can't sell. And no one's buying. And that's the problem. You're no longer buying, Soldier of God. That's all. And it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's there. The proof is right in front of you. The guy can't get it done. That's why I've given up on the season. I mean, I'm going to follow every game. I love the Dolphins. I'll watch it. I hope they win. I hope they prove me wrong. But I don't have any hope anymore either. Why would I have any hope? What the hell has Mike McDaniel done to instill any damn hope in this team and in the fan base? None. All he's shown you is that he's absolutely and totally incompetent. That's all. Totally incompetent. So, what else do we have here? Go Dolphins, mahalos, Big O. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Incompetence is not running it right when he is gashing defense. That's right, Jordan. And sadly, this is what McDaniel does to us every week. I wish he would have committed to the run the last 3 weeks with Tua all the time. It would help Tua out. It could help him keep him a little healthier too. So Tua doesn't do the crazy shit and throw his body around when he shouldn't. Oh, God, I hope he makes that sliding shit just normal in his life and he can live forever in the NFL, dude. Lofi says, this is the Dolphins. We will save right to his 3rd year for his coming out party. Oh, that's funny. Freeman is such a professional. He is. Big O, your video is quite grainy for me. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I think the connection from my house isn't that good or something. I don't know. Today, I guess we're not getting a clean internet feed. So I apologize for the graininess. But, hey, it makes me look better. I look a lot better grainy. Don't I? You got to admit. I'm much better looking grainy. Now, ungrainy, that's ugly, bro. You don't want to see me ungrainy. That's not a good thing, dude. You know what I'm saying? What do we got here? Ocala Joe. Thank you, Ocala Joe. Appreciate you, my brother. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And Ocala, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you sending the love on Cash App. And remember, folks, you can also make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And you can also make a donation for those of you out of the country. You can make it on PayPal. Did not know that. So thank you for enlightening me on that one. So that's why we added the PayPal. Hialeah Park, you got your $100 no regret first bet. We'll be there on Thursday. They're going to be giving away another Mercedes-Benz starting on November 1st. So you will have the entire month of November to go and play the slot machines, and you will get entries to win that Mercedes-Benz. So go to Hialeah Park, all right? And then you got to go back to Hialeah Park. You got to be there live at the end of the month for the drawing. That's why it's awesome, because less people really have a chance to win because not everybody goes. So if you go, you have a better chance than what you think of winning the truck, the car, the boat, the SUV, whatever it is, they're cash, whatever it is they're giving away like they do every other month, that they give some big-ass prize away. People don't realize how much of a chance you really have to win, because all the people that go there throughout the month and get the entries, they don't come back on that night. I know because I've been there myself, because I'm eligible for it. My wife and I enter every time. And what the hell? We're not employees. So I got a chance. I go there on that Saturday night. I have some dinner with my wife. We play. She likes to play the slot machines a little bit, and that's it. And we have a good time, and they have the drawing, and we go home. We haven't gone home with a car yet, but you never know, dude. We might go home with a car this time. I know I'm going to be there. And by the way, if you do go, say hi, because I've already run into a couple of you now over the last couple of giveaways. So that's pretty cool. Big O, when Tyreek got arrested, it was an omen to what the Dolphins season would be. Also, every Amazon Thursday night game, Tua gets a concussion. I'm over the Fins. Go Canes and go Panthers. How about go Inter? I got to get you people on the Inter. You do realize that the Panthers and Inter are the only elite franchises in town right now. Like, the Heat is an elite franchise over history of Mickey Arison, but they're not elite right now. They have no chance. You know, they're like barely making the playoffs. They're not going anywhere. But Inter and the Panthers, they literally are the best teams in their league. And one of them already won a championship, and Inter could be winning our fifth championship of the mix here for all five pro teams to like complete the entire set. South Florida would have a trophy in every pro sport. That's pretty freaking cool, dude. So get on that Inter bandwagon, man. And this is the beginning of many years to come of being a really good franchise, because the Moss brothers would own. That's the only way they're going to have it. Let's see. Big O, a hodler. He's not spending Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm a hodler. Yeah, I'm not spending Bitcoin. I'm never touching my Bitcoin goes to my daughter, dude. I won't. I'm spending my Ethereum, and I'm spending my Solana, and I'm spending my Polygon, and I'm spending my Star Atlas and my Jasmy and my Avalanche. I'm spending my altcoins. My Bitcoin goes to my daughter, bro. You know, Bitcoin is a long play where you establish, you know, a nice reserve for your family, for your corporation, for your business, for your state, for your city, for your country. Everyone has the same opportunity. Isn't that beautiful? Anyone can mine it. Isn't that beautiful? Anyone can buy it. Anyone can hold it. Isn't that beautiful? I don't understand it. It's the most fair thing that has ever existed fiscally on this planet. 72,279. We continue to climb after crossing 72. 282 now. 283 now. Okay? 318. I don't know. It's moving around all over the place. Inter has become underrated at this point with the lack of attention they get. That is true. That is very true. Locally, there is not enough. You're right about that. You are right about that. Big O, after the loss to Buffalo and the official end of the season for us, should we continue to play Tua and put him at risk? Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. No bigger fan of yours truly than me, right? Okay. No bigger believer of Tua the player and all that kind of stuff. I do get frustrated with him using his body as a, some kind of wrecking ball. That's stupid. I hate when he holds on to the football. You guys know that I pointed out. And when he forces the interceptions, which he does that too. There are things, as much as I love the kid, I'll point a couple things out that frustrate me about him. Okay, so let me ask you something. Just because he slid once, did he learn? No, right? Because last year, we thought he learned. He did it for a whole season. And then he went back to his bad habits. He thought he could play hero ball again and be a hero and be mini Josh Allen, and he paid the price. I need him to play. I need him to keep showing me that he can play like this. And now I'm going to get a little cold. If you're the Dolphins and you're stuck with his contract and he wants to play, well, then you need to play him. One, he needs to continue to get better and make better decisions, consistent decisions, not force the football. Two, he has to make sure he proves that he doesn't run and take on stupid hits, and he can slide and he can make, good decisions. He needs these next 10 games for that. You can't play scared with him. And he refuses to play with a guardian cap or whatever. So he's going to go out there and lay it on the line. Plus, if you put him on the bench, you are basically tanking and you are illegally doing something in the league, because you can put a player on the IR, on the shelf, if they're injured, but you can't all of a sudden start shelving your good players so you then start losing games. The league's not going to allow that. So one, you really, for optics, you can't do it because you can't sit a healthy player, and then everybody knows what you become after without Tua. You become dog shit without Tua. By the way, the fact that we're at 72.3, that means we are 1,000 away from the all-time high. Pretty amazing. So this is where we're at. So you can't just bench Tua. Can't do that. Plus, he has to play. It sucks because you're going to win enough games not to have a great draft pick. And you're not going to win enough games anyways because you're not going to be an impactful team in the playoffs. I get it. But that's the reality. You're stuck. You're stuck like Chuck. The Heat got out-rebounded last night, 54-44. If the Pistons were a better team, we would have... Yeah, dude, the Heat are not a good team. If you watched it last night, it was not a good game, bro. It's an ugly game. The good game was the Panther game. The Panthers are studs. and stars. The Heat has no stars. None. Jimmy's not a star anymore. So, anyway, when Neymar arrives to Inter, he just brought a water from Mansion somewhere in South Florida. Who knows? But I wouldn't put it past the Moss brothers, that's for sure. Jesse Wilson says, only agree with that because if we play him, maybe he will learn to be smarter and also get some when it's now or go home mentally in him. Yeah. Plus, you just can't bench him anyways. You just can't do that. Tua is our only chance of winning. Amen to that, dude. We're not winning even with Tua. Well, we're not winning big, but we'll win with Tua. We'll win some games. Why is Julian Hill still on this team? It's not so much why he's on this team as why is he constantly playing. He's got talent, dude. I would still hang on to him, but I would make him pay a price for screw-ups, and they don't. That's the disturbing part. Big O, before Inter Miami gets in the MLS Finals, it would be cool to get Michelle Kaufman and Alex Winley on for a discussion. We just had her on last week. What are you talking about, dude? We had Michelle Kaufman on last week. I was supposed to have Winley on. Well, not supposed to. We tried to get her on for the post game, but she was kind of busy. So she was going to try, but it was kind of a little crazy, so I couldn't get her. But I just had Michelle Kaufman on, I want to say it was Thursday of last week, it was Thursday of last week. We had her on while we were at Hialeah Park because it was an afternoon. I remember that. So, yeah, we just had Michelle on right before. We'll get him on again. Let's see. Big O, we're all day to day, but isn't Tua perpetually a day-to-day injury player anyway because of his constant concussion history? It doesn't matter. You can't bench him. He's healthy. Can't bench him, dude. You just can't flat out bench a healthy player. That the league is not going to accept that. That's tanking right there. That's the other owners and teams will lose their shit on that. So you guys can forget about that. I know fans come up with crazy shit, but this is not anything that's realistic whatsoever. So please just drop it. That's not going to happen in any way, shape, or form. Okay? That's all I'm saying. 72,400 right now. That's crazy, dude. Okay? This is moving. We might have an all-time high today during the Crypto Bro show. We might have an all-time high today. We're at 72,416 right now. So we're less than $900 away now from an all-time high. 420. Smoke it up, Johnny. Where are you, NorCal? Oh, it's 423. Too late, NorCal. You passed up 420. 429 now. It just goes. That's the beauty, that when it goes, it's running. See, the thing about Bitcoin that's interesting, there's a lot of dead days, there's a lot of flat days and all that. And in an entire year, it's going to be green every year pretty much, but it's only going to move for a couple of weeks in the entire year. You're going to have like 11 months of misery, and then that 1 month will make up for all those months of misery, because where are we? Right? We had 6 months of going sideways. 6 months. And people ran out of patience. And that's what Bitcoin does to you. And then if you don't take advantage of it and keep buying the dips, so you can, because it will pop. And when it pops, it goes to the next level. By the way, the 60s, the 50s, you'll never see them again. Okay? Once this thing pops past the all-time high and it takes off into the high 70s and we go into the 80s, you will never see 50s and 60s again. And when we get to the 90s and the 100s, you will never see the 70s again. Ever. Ever. I'm just telling you. 450 now. I just told you 420 to spark it up. It's 456 now because I just told you 450 and it went to 456. That's how fast it is. Whew. Every time Tua's having a semi-decent to good game, he will make a fourth quarter turnover or throw a bad pass, and McDummy will cause us more games too. Okay. Well, then you know exactly what's going to happen. So that's it. Dolphins paid a lot of money to only have one more win than Carolina. Well, that's what happens when you have a terrible coach, my friend. Pretty simple. All right, let's get to a little music stuff. All right. Let's start off with birthdays today for musicians on October 29th. Who was born today? Let's start with Mark Sheehan, a member of My Town, born in 1976 on this date. Toby Smith, keyboardist for Jamiroquai, born in 1970 on this date. Peter Timmons, with the alternative country blues folk band Cowboy Junkies. Peter's born on this date in 65. Enar Oren, vocalist for the Sugar Cubes, born on this date in 1962. Okay, you know her as Bjork, by the way. Kevin Dubrow, rest in peace, late singer for Quiet Riot, born on this date in 1955. We lost him in 2007. Roger O'Donnell, keyboardist with The Cure, born in 1955. Steve Luscombe, I was just playing a little Blanc Mage yesterday, living on the ceiling. Damn, dude, I was just playing that yesterday. A little Blanc Mage. I was actually showing a little Blanc Mage because my daughter, sometimes while she's cooking, I'm sitting there with her and she's creating her marvelous food that she does every night for us. And so sometimes I'll move away from the sports or politics or news or weather or some, boring stuff for her. And I'll play some music videos. And sometimes I'll play music to kind of, enlighten her, kind of open up her avenues. And Blanc Mage was one of the bands that I was playing for her yesterday, because I went really eclectic yesterday with Blanc Mage and Sisters of Mercy and Nitzer Ebb and, stuff like a lot of stuff she didn't like. She didn't like Nitzer Ebb. She didn't like Sisters of Mercy, but she did like Blanc Mage. She did enjoy Blanc Mage. So happy birthday to Steve Luscombe from Blanc Mage. Most of you probably don't even know anything about Blanc Mage. Let's see who else. Ricky Reynolds from Black Oak, Arkansas, celebrating a birthday in 1948. Peter Green, founding member, singer, guitarist with Fleetwood Mac, born on this date in 1946. He left Fleetwood Mac in 1970, and Green died in his sleep at the age of 73 on July 26, 2020. Denny Lane, singer-songwriter with the Moody Blues. Sometimes I think the Moody Blues are like underrated. Like Prague, in the Prague sense, they're highly respected. But I love their music. But I think in general, when people talk about the Moody Blues, I almost feel like it's hardcore fans that really get into Moody Blues conversations. But the general public, I don't think gives enough love to the Moody Blues. That's just me. Denny Lane, by the way, we lost him on December 5th right here in Naples, Florida in 2023 at the age of 79. So he had a complete life. I think most of us would take 79. Let's go with other famous people celebrating birthdays today. Bob Ross, the painter, born on this date in 42. We lost him in 95. I have a Bob Ross doll that when I redo everything, we'll do it. One of our listeners gave me the Bob Ross doll. I have it. Winona Ryder, she is 53 years old, the actress. Gabrielle Union, Gabby, is 52 years old. Man, I am old. Randy Jackson is 63 years old today. 63 years young. Randy Jackson. How about that? Tracy Ellis Ross, the actress. She is 52. Very funny. Very funny. And a lot of junk in the trunk, too, by the way. Props to her on the junk on the trunk. Let's see what else. What else? Dan Castaneda, voice actor, celebrating birthday, 67. And Richard Dreyfuss, 77 years old today. How about that? All right, Sean, any wrestlers celebrating birthdays today?
Danilo Amphibio, NXT referee, is 37. Carmen Petrovic is 29. Tatum Paxley, she turns 28. And today is Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff's born day. He was born in the state in 1949. Sadly, we lost him in 2021. Those are your birthdays for October 29th, 2024.
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's move over to a little music history on October 29th. What happened in music history on October 29th? Well, in 71, guitarist Duane Allman died after wiping out his motorcycle outside of Macon, Georgia. The 24-year-old contributed memorable licks to recordings by Eric Clapton, Delaney and Bonnie, then revitalized Southern rock with his Allman Brothers Band. In 2012, Imagine Dragons released their huge hit, Radioactive. In 83, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon marked its 491st week on the Billboard 200, breaking Johnny Mathis's record for the longest time on the charts. You know, I would have never guessed. I know that Pink Floyd owns the record for the most weeks consecutive on the Billboard charts. But if you would have asked me whose record he would have broken, dude, I would have guessed Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Elvis Presley, Aretha Franklin, Elton John. You know, I would have picked like some super, I mean, he is legendary in his own right, don't get me wrong. But I would have never picked a crooner like Johnny Mathis. Maybe Frank Sinatra. Okay. But not even Mathis. That's crazy. Johnny Mathis held the record before Pink Floyd. So he had 490th week. That is awesome. 2009, on this date, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a series of concerts took place at Madison Square Garden, featuring Bruce Springsteen, U2, Sting, Billy Joel, Mick Jagger, Jeff Beck, and many others. In 2001, on this date, U2 performed for the first time on The Late Show with David Letterman. I remember that. In 2013, Recharged, Linkin Park's second album of remix recordings hit the shelves. And that's what happened today in Musica history. The other thing I saw music-wise that I think is actually pretty freaking cool, some of you won't give a shit about this, okay? Because I got to, got to call it like we see it, right? Some of you aren't going to care about this kind of stuff because you probably don't like her music or, anything along those lines. So Rihanna was asked about what's her dream collaborator during an interview. And she said her dream collaboration would be with Billie Eilish. She said, if I could do a song with Billie Eilish, she's so good. And then, somebody tweeted out, wow, Billie's going to lose it when she sees this. And so Billy saw it, and then she then tweeted out, like, let's see. She put, what in the absolute effing, oh my God, what the F? So Billy was a little excited about that, hearing from Rihanna that she wants to team up and do a collab, which actually would be really cool. Okay. That actually would be really, really cool if those two got together. I like Billie Eilish and I love Rihanna. Both of them are incredibly talented. That would be pretty cool to see those two actually come together. Let's see. Chef Jew says subscribe, like, share, and donate. Help the channel grow. Thank you, Chef Jew. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's good, OG, Big O, and everyone? How y'all this afternoon? Thank you, Chef Jew. Always think long-term on your investments. Minimize pain in the arse. There you go. Dolphin Dumpy, I believe you two played the whole week on Letterman. I think you're right. I think they had I think because they were performing there is what it was. They were in New York. So, yeah, I think you are correct. Finn's Rule says, I'm keeping it real. Player props, I'm betting Josh Allen over in passing yards, and 2, I'm betting over on an interception. Both bets are locks. See, I good for you, man, but I can't sit there rooting for a Tua interception. I can't root for negative shit for my team. And listen, the Bills -6, it's a layup, but I'm not betting it. I can't sit there rooting for the Bills to beat the Dolphins by 6. I can't do that, bro. I can't root for Tua to throw an interception or Mike McDaniel to lose a challenge if that was a prop, which would be an easy prop to win. But I just, that's never been in me. I can't do that. It's no fun, bro. So I'm supposed to sit there and root against them? No. Can't do that, bro. Can't do that. Well, it looks like there is some damage control going on in Indianapolis, because we talked about Anthony Richardson's breather bullshit that he pulled this weekend, that he was so tired. And, I made fun of it because, seriously, dude, the guy threw 10 for 32 for 175 yards, and he only rushed for 45. So you need a quarterback pulled himself out for a breather. I've never heard of that in my life. So nice to see that, people inside the building are not happy with it. Veteran signal caller Joe Flacco replaced Richardson for 1 snap in the third quarter, but it wasn't due to injury. And Richardson admitted following the defeat, he took himself out of the game for 1 play because he was tired. So Colts head coach Shane Steichen and 4-time Pro Bowl center Ryan Kelly discussed the Florida Products decision on Monday and weren't exactly backing the 32-year-old. Kelly said he had a conversation with the QB about subbing himself out. He knows it's not the standard that he needs to play up to. Shane Steichen said he had a conversation too. Can't take yourself out. Said, we had a conversation about it this morning in the quarterback room, which I'll keep it private. But obviously in those situations, he knows those type of deals, you can't take yourself out. It's a learned experience for him, and he's got to grow from it. I call bullshit. You know why? I've lived this. When you see the sign, that's all you need to know. We saw the sign with Mike McDaniel in the Buffalo playoff game. He didn't know the down. That was a sign of things to come. We should have known better. You and I should have known better. If you haven't watched Anthony Richardson, he can't hit the side of a barn. He has no accuracy. He has no anticipatory skills. And apparently, he doesn't even have heart because he pulled himself out. I've never heard of that in my life. Unless you can't walk and you're injured. You're so injured that you can't play, because I've seen even guys that are injured playing quarterback. Your signs are all there. You picked the wrong quarterback. You fell in love with the athlete, and you absolutely got burned. Anthony Richardson will never be a quarterback in this league. He'll be an athlete playing bad quarterback in this league until they take him out. And they will. So, the signs are all there. Anthony Richardson ain't shit. Okay? He's good enough to beat the Dolphins only because the Dolphins ain't shit. We're at 6:20. So NorCal. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 6:33 now. I was going to tell you 4:20 to 6:20 NorCal. You can maybe hit a double shot on it, but it went to 6:36. You got to react quickly here, NorCal. 6:43. And come on. Come on, out of the 130 that are watching right now. Admit it. You regret not getting in earlier. Admit it. Or how about this? Out of the 130 that's watching, admit it, you were wrong about Bitcoin. That's all. Do what I did. What an idiot I am. I had a hot dog from a Dairy Queen in the Panhandle. Can I be any more stupid? Your turn now. Yeah, I didn't believe that Bitcoin was real. Yeah, I thought it was going to zero. I was listening to Elizabeth Warren and other idiots. And now I regret. Well, I wonder how many of you out there. There's a lot of you that deny it. A lot of you that shot it down. Love it. Love it. Oh, man. Richardson is a horrible... Richardson is pathetic, dude. That's a joke of a draft pick. Okay? So... my largest stock position since its IPO is Planter. Oh, okay. All right. Planter's good. It has moved quite a bit. Nothing moves like Bitcoin, but it's moved. That's for sure. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of deportes? Or life or anything else? I don't see anything on the headlines. Overall, Wade defends statue. Statue look amid hail of jokes. That's one of the headlines on ESPN. Oh, man, that is awesome. It's too funny. All right, folks, we're out of here. We'll be back in a little bit with the Crypto Bro Show. We'll prepare for that, and then give me about 45 minutes, touch up some stuff, and get this thing ready. And it'll be a very happy Crypto Bro Show. So make sure you hit the subscribe button here. Make sure you hit the notification bell, because that tells you every time we're on live. Okay? And it should be fun, because who knows? We might be going to an all-time high on the Crypto Bro Show, because it's 73.3. We are $800 away from an all-time high. This is absolutely phenomenal, dude. So we will see you all in a little bit on the Crypto Bro Show. Thank you all for tuning in. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley, who masters this entire program and platform. Don't forget, you can make donations, Cash App, Venmo, or even PayPal. Different ways you can donate. Use the QR codes for Cash App or PayPal. For Cash App or Venmo, it's Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. For PayPal, you look for our name, Orlando Alzagari, and if you see the Crypto Bro Show logo, that's the one. That's our PayPal account right there. And you can visit our merchandise shop. Many different ways to support. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place. Same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.